Hello everyone and welcome back to our Portuguese homestead. It looks almost like summer. It's very warm in the yurt right now because we had the fire on, but it's getting back into those days where you don't have to have the fire on all day because it gets too hot. It's a luxury problem, I know. Yeah, and it's not summer because I'm super pale. Anyway, today another installment in my the challenge I set for myself, i.e. sticking to a budget challenge. And as I'm going through the footage today, I realize I have a lot. So I'm gonna split it up into a couple more videos actually. Today I'm gonna show you what we already had in the pantry at the beginning of this month. How I kind of write my list, what we get. I don't have one of those really nice big tables where I can set everything out for you, but I do kind of show you a little bit what we got, and then also a discussion on how it's been going until now with some numbers. So that's the program for today, and then in the next video, hopefully next week, I want to show you some of our favorite budget meals, things that you can easily make from stuff that you already kind of have in the pantry. Spoiler alert, we also have to eat more from the pantry this month, or the rest of this month, so I think I can come up with some good recipes for you and kind of show you what we eat. It's fairly simple, but I think always delicious, so do keep your eyes out for that. Today though, we'll start with what we already had in the pantry. So tomorrow's Martin is going to the shop. And part of this food budgeting challenge that I set for myself, I wanted to kind of show you what we already have in the kitchen, because we do still have quite a lot. We're mostly out of fresh vegetables, I think, and we need diapers. I'll kind of take you through the list of the things that I think we need this coming week. But first of all, I wanted to show you what we already have. So behind me here we have our very messy kitchen shelf, which I'll show you. So here are just some of the things that I use on a very regular basis, and some breakfasty things. It's not organized at all. But yeah, it's just olive oil, which we, by the way, now mostly keep inside for salad dressings, because it's actually so cold that it, well, it doesn't freeze, it kind of goes solid, because it's under 15 degrees or something. So this is gonna go back inside. And then we just have some random toothpaste for some reason. We have some kimchi down here. We have some honey, which is from the people that we're gonna work with for hot honey. Very good. We have our coffee and just some random things, some mustard, some pesto, soy sauce, some homemade chai latte, which is very nice, just some vinegars, a pack of green lentils, some nuts, some muesli. We need to get more sunflower oil, vegetable oil, which is what I mostly use for cooking right now. Don't fight me on this. And then we have some passata and a full bottle down there. Some coffee replacement and just spices and some lemonade and some wine. So that's what we have just in staples over here. And then in this kitchen, as you can see, the olive oil solidifies because it's too cold outside. And then here we just have some random, again, things. I really need to organize these cupboards. They once were, but no longer are. It's just some peanut butter, some maldacana, which kind of tastes like, for the Dutch people, like dark syrup that you put on pancakes. Buk hou even op. And then I keep my rice in here, some couscous, some, yeah, just some random things, but it's quite empty as you can see. It's usually stacked to the brim with tomatoes and that kind of stuff. So we need to go shopping for staples. At least these. Hepik! Down here, under the sink area, we store our veg right now because the fridge is off. As you can see, we still have some carrots, a cauliflower that we're going to eat tomorrow, and some beets and onions. So that's already quite good. This one is just full of potatoes. And then here we have all the dried goods. So I don't think we need to buy much of this. It's just an assortment of rice. I actually got this even though I didn't need it because it was on sale for 99 cents a kilo, which is a very good price for jasmine rice. Ik hou even op. Wil je eraf?
Yeah.
And sadly, I have to say I'm kind of a rice snob. And I like my basmati and my jasmine rice. So we have that, 2 packs at least. And I think another one down there. Half a pack of these tortellinis that I like to put in soup. We have some just regular pasta. Oh, a bunch of random things. Some coffee. I think we'll need some more. Some muesli. I don't think we need more of that. And then some more coffee replacements. Cream of mushroom soup. Some flour. Some oats. As you can see, just an assortment of dried goods, and we keep them in these bins because otherwise the mice will have a field day, or at least a very good lunch. Nou, ga je aan het doen het aaien? Anyway, so here we have another one of those bins, and this one is full of potato. This is the 25 kilo that I told you about in the introduction video for $8.50, so that was a great price, and they're good potatoes. And we also keep them in a bin against the mice. And then finally what I wanted to show you was that we do buy stuff in bulk a little bit, and this bin I usually use for 5 kilo bags of flour. I don't really remember where I got this one, but price wise the little flour, the kilo bag, looks actually quite good, so it doesn't save you that much if you buy the bigger bag at some other store. And then we also still have this, which I have yet to figure out what I'm gonna do with it. So that's what we have right now. It's been a week since Martin went to the shop, and I have to say that day was kind of messy. So in the end I didn't manage to meal plan. I didn't manage to think of very specific things the day before because something came up, and then I just didn't have the time or the energy to actually sit down and talk to you about it. Think about what we were going to eat. So meal planning was part of the plan, but life gets in the way. So this week is a new week. I have my notepad, and I wanted to take you kind of through my thinking process when I am writing a meal plan, and in extension of that also how I'm writing a shopping list. Sometimes I feel like this is very basic, but some people seem to be interested, so we're gonna talk about it. So one thing to know is what you still have in the cupboards, in your fridge, etc. And so I know that we still have a pumpkin. Martin bought all the different kinds of dried beans that they had. So we have enough dried beans for probably the next couple of months, as well as some lentils. I do know, but they're kind of hard to come by, that I want some red lentils, just because they kind of, I like to put them in like tomato soup or something like that, so that they kind of fall apart a little bit more, and yeah, just the added protein is always really nice. And then as for veg, I think we just have a pumpkin, a couple carrots, and that's it. Because the rest we're gonna eat before we go to the shop again. So not much, but we did manage to stretch it out for more than a week, so that's very good. And we've also been eating a pumpkin that we got from our neighbor at the end of summer, and I had been dreading it because it was one of those really giant ones, but I finally started chopping it up. It's very good. It keeps very well, so I'm gonna save the seeds for spring planting. What I usually also do is kind of look at what's on sale for the week. Most of the time we do all our food shopping at Lidl's, just because we don't want to make a lot of extra stops, and for some specialty items we go to one of the bigger chains, and that's for things like curry paste or more special things that they don't have at Lidl's. But usually we just stick to there. I think their fruit and veg is very good in most countries, and in many countries actually. And yeah, they have the basics and we just eat the basics. And they have a growing assortment of organic stuff as well. So we buy the organic soy milk, for example, because it's unsweetened, and yeah, I like it there. So what I'll usually do on a list is just write down for how many days I want a meal plan, and usually that's 7, and then on the side I'll write what we still have. So we still have 1 pumpkin. Ja, daar ga ik even schrijven. Some carrots. Oh, and we still have some cabbage in the garden that we need to eat. Anyway, so I know that I also boiled some chickpeas, cooked some chickpeas yesterday. So I want to do a chickpea stew. And that will probably have some spinach and some tomatoes and stuff like that. I love doing a chili, and that I usually make it big enough so that we can have it for a couple days at least. And then sometimes we'll even just put it with some tortillas or something, eat it in a wrap. In this video I'll also show you how to do a potato, I'm dyslexic, okay? Frittata. Because it's a really lovely and cheap dish for which we have most ingredients, so that's very good. And then let me think. Usually I'll do some type of salad as well. depending on what they have. Oh yeah, let me look at what they have on sale at Lidl's this week. So it's halfway through the month and halfway through me trying to stick to a budget. I have to admit that I've not been very good at kind of writing things down as we get them. We did, however, keep all the receipts in this Zara bag, so that tells you something about our spending. So what I'm gonna do now, this morning, with my lovely assistant here, is I'm gonna start adding up things into different categories, kind of see where we are. Hopefully it's not too bad. The food shopping has been going pretty well, I think, but yeah, we'll have to see. I think we have to be a little bit stricter the next 2 weeks, and I definitely know that our overflow material budget is kind of almost gone. So let's start adding up and I'll talk to you again soon. Okay, I don't know if the camera is picking up on this, but excuse the noise if you can. If it's too annoying, I'll try to edit it out, but Martin's doing some tilling in the garden, so life on a farm. So I've been adding up everything. So as I said, I kind of had my suspicions, but it's a little bit worse than I thought. The food budget is kind of going okay. I have to say though, and I think this is a kind of a stumbling block for a lot of people, is that you do your weekly shop and then you're like, this is right within budget, and then you do an extra shop and you pick up some extra things, and then you kind of slowly go over. So for a weekly shop at Lidl's, which is where we do our big shop, we spent 81.77, and then the next week we spent 84.75. I'm just looking at my notes, and that's pretty good, because as I said in the introduction video, we're aiming at 80-85 euros a week. And then but all the extra shops, because sometimes Martin gets some bread and then he'll tend to pick up some juice and stuff, 38.23, and that means that right now on food we spend 204.75. Just a little side note for some of the people who were saying this is a very big budget. I don't know if it is. I feel like it's realistic. As I said, I hope to kind of get it lower once we start eating more out of the garden and stuff, but for now this is what it is. And it also includes all our pet food. I wouldn't exactly know how much we spend on that, but it's like it's food for the dogs and the cats, and we have 2 of both now, so that's also a cost. And on top of that we also buy our diapers there, and I don't make an extra little thing in my budget for that. She's using less and less diapers, but we still have to buy them. So yeah, they go in the food budget because maybe it's shop budget is a better term, but we buy them there, so they're on the same receipt. I'm not gonna do extra calculations for that stuff. So 204.75, which means we have 145 left, because we were aiming at 350 for the week. For the month, excuse me. I think for now that means that I also have to do a pantry challenge on top of this. As I've kind of started doing this, I'm realizing maybe I'm a little bit of a food hoarder. I like to have some stuff in the cupboards just in case. That's why I always kind of buy some extra beans and some extra lentils. I think we're out of pasta right now, but we still have more than enough of other dried foods. So I could, if I wanted to, I could cook from the pantry for a couple extra days. What I have to say though is that buying bread, for example, I think that's kind of a bigger part of our food budget than it would be if you wanted to go super cheap. But I just don't have the energy. I think a lot of people don't have the energy, and you really shouldn't feel guilty about that. You can't do everything. As I've said before in other videos, that's also why we don't have any other animals than the chickens right now. It's just, that's another extra task on your already busy schedule. I don't have the energy or the time to do all that, so you just don't, because then that would also take away time from making videos and making an income. So you kind of have to, if you want to stick within a budget, you have to also weigh time and money against each other and see, for example, I could make my own tortilla wraps if I wanted to. It's not that hard, but it's an extra task onto my list. I don't feel like doing it once a week, so I just don't. I also don't have the freezer on right now, so I also can't do a batch and then cook them, for example. All of that means that we just buy some tortilla wraps from the shop, and that's €1 well spent, I think, just for that, like, other thing you don't have to do, and yeah, kind of balance it that way. So the other two things that I wanted to discuss in this video are the materials budget and the miscellaneous budget, because I'm not sure how much we spent on diesel and petrol this month. Martin has been using the digger a lot. The rototiller needs fuel, so I'm not sure how much that is altogether, but I'm sure it's around 50. So then, two things. The miscellaneous budget. This month, the month of January, is kind of sale month, and Puck is also, of course, right at that point where she's like too big for some stuff. So she needed a couple extra things just to get her through the last bit of winter. I would prefer to buy secondhand, but it's kind of hard to find here. There's no like good thrift store, charity shop type thing where they have lots of clothing for all ages. That is, for the baby we have more than enough. People throw baby clothing at you if you have a baby, and we still had some from Puck, so we have more. It's up. We have more than enough. Don't worry about that. So that means that I spent €18.97, so €19 at Zara at the sale, and I got her another sweater at Zippy for $5.99. I also I had to go to the pharmacy to get some heartburn stuff because pregnancy, and then I also decided to just get a couple of things to kind of build up our first aid kit, and that also came to €19.65. So those are just some miscellaneous things that you buy every now and then. They're not a major thing, but children need clothing and you need some bandages for when you hurt yourself. So that's what we did. So that makes the miscellaneous budget to $44.61. So we can buy another random thing if we want to. I don't think we will. Our materials budget, as I said in the introduction video, I like to have it around 200, just based on our income and how much I want to save as well. we have a little bit of saving. We have a little bit of savings still for random things like a washing machine. So yeah, I like to have a little bit of money set aside if we have an unexpected expense that is not part of the budget. So that means for the washing machine we had the 80 euros that we spend on it, also thanks to you of course, but I like to set that aside so that we have it if we need it. But the materials budget, I like to have it around 200. And then the rest we save. Our income is kind of fluctuating as well. If you work for yourself, you know. Oops. Oops. The DIY stores got all our money this month. All together. So Martin had to buy some materials for to finish the gates. That was quite a big chunk. That was like around 80 euros for all the hinges and extra screws and all that stuff. That was all part for the garden. Then we wanted to get some seed potatoes. That was a little bit of money. We bought a pH testing kit, which was 25 I think. And then some random stuff to finish our toilets, our new outdoor composting toilet. So we got a toilet seat, and we had to get a new tap, and all that is to say that stuff adds up, and we're now at 288, which is a lot more than we had budgeted for, but they were necessary to continue our projects, and just necessary for life. Oh, and the MOT was 31.49, so that was a little bit less expensive than I thought. Yeah, this spending money on materials can be kind of tricky, because like you buy a couple things and it quickly adds up, and it's like a 20 here, a 20 there, and before you know it you're 200 euros in. So I like to keep track of this, but I'm not always great at it. So what I've learned definitely this month, we spend a lot on materials. I think I already knew that. And for now, I have to start figuring out if that means that we have to cut down the food budget. But that means I can really not spend that much money anymore. Because I said we had 144, so minus 80, that's 60 euros. So 60 euros for 2 weeks, that would be tight, to say the least. Should I try to stick very strictly to this budget, meaning that all the extra money that we spend on materials should come from the food budget now, which means we have to do an extreme budget challenge, or should I just take the loss? We have the little bit of extra money in our savings. Should I take it from there? What do you think? I'm gonna decide after you tell me what to do. So, learning lots. I'm not great at budgeting. Life costs money, even if you live off grid. So that was the video for today. I hope it wasn't too long or too boring. Do let me know how it is going for you, if you have set a challenge for yourself this month as well. I would love to hear. And also tell me if I should try to really stick to the budget, or if we can take off those material costs from the savings that we still, or like extra bit of money that we still have. I have yet to decide. It's gonna be a challenge either way. So thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Helemaal opeten.
Je hebt hem helemaal opgegeten, jeetje! Goed gedaan!